Hi, this is Tejas Puranik. I'm a Senior Director of Solutions Engineering and Compliance at Intellect. I've been in this company for about 7 years now, and I have a background in quality for manufacturing quality, sustaining quality, R&D quality. So in my responsibility here, I manage the solutions engineering team and the compliance team. Today, we have Carl Smerdel, the Director of Quality and Continuous Improvement at Battelle, which is a research organization.
Hi, I'm Carl Smerdel. I work for Battelle Memorial Institute as their Director of Quality and Continuous Improvement. I've been with the company now for 10 years, and I support quality management across our health, national security, environment, and infrastructure businesses.
Thank you, Carl, for joining us today.
Happy to be here.
Let's start off with quality and how it's been evolved over the years. Carl, you started as an engineer and you have been in the quality for over 2 decades now. Have you seen the quality evolve and how it's been evolved, especially with all the tech advancement in the recent years that we have been seeing?
Yeah, so I think the biggest advancement I've seen, and it's been more recent, is advancements in AI. So within my role today and across my team, we're using AI more and more to not only help with analytics, looking at nonconformance trending and things of that nature, but also helping with document development. So a big part of the quality engineers and quality officers on my team is maintaining the quality management systems across our organization. And it's certainly a lot easier to revise a document or to start a new document from an AI generated draft than from a blank page. The other thing we're just kind of getting started in, but is certainly in the near term going to be something that's going to be a game changer for our organization, is our ability to use it for pulling information out of these systems. So where currently, if I'm executing a particular quality task, I may need to refer to 3 or 4 documents to understand the policy and the procedure and how it gets done. With AI, I can ask specific questions, have it go out, pull the content out of those documents and give it to me at a flip of a switch. So from my standpoint, I think that's the biggest game changer currently in the industry, and it's really going to drive a major change to how we look at quality 3, 5, 10 years from now.
Great, fantastic. I mean, I can see it's been quite a journey in the world of quality, right? I mean, back in the days when I started my career as a quality engineer over a decade ago, quality was really more of like that checkpoint towards the process. Like, yes, everything's good, move forward. But like as you said, right, with the recent developments, AI is definitely shaping the quality industry as well. More and more companies out there are now looking to adopt new technologies that's going to build some efficiency, some improvements in their company. So speaking of, this new policies coming in for AI, these new things that's happening outside in the world, with everything that's going on, like global policies that's changing, things like tariffs. Have you seen that impacting on how Battelle operates in the quality space, or is it more of like a pretty steady pace?
Yeah, so I mean, there's certainly impacts there. So Battelle is a government contractor. So obviously the organization is monitoring changes in government policies as well as shifts in the economy and other things. And I think what the kind of cascade effect of that is onto my role is really putting ourselves in a position where we can be as agile as possible. As a research institute, we're always looking for the next area to make an impact. And oftentimes business strategies change as a result of those external factors. And our ability to react to that and not only set up the systems, controls, and workforce to enable the business teams to execute, but to be able to do that efficiently and effectively, because cost is king these days. So really paying attention to, as we set things up, are we able to easily change them? Looking at things like consolidating process where we may have similar processes in multiple businesses across our organization. Can we make those more harmonized? So really that's been the biggest thing from my standpoint, and particularly now as we continue to evaluate things that are going on, making sure that we're able to ideally stay ahead of the business as it relates to their strategy. If they're going out to bid on a new contract that's in a different area of industry than we're currently accustomed to working, making sure we're pulling in that research, making those updates so they can execute effectively.
Got it. It's really insightful, Carl, to hear how you're balancing both the stability and the flexibility across the board there. I can imagine, that requires strong internal collaboration across the departments. Are there any key takeaways or lessons that have helped you or your teams navigate this environment? Talking about, the global policy changes and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just been to your point, being closely connected with our business counterparts. So they're the ones that are collecting the industry intelligence. They're the ones that are working through these strategic changes and really making sure that the quality team is well integrated into the business. And with that, we're able to get the information more quickly and then be able to respond. And on the topic of being agile and being able to pivot quickly, I think a big element to that is how you manage knowledge in your organization. So kind of going back to this consolidation concept, if you have 8 different areas where you're managing your knowledge content, your how-tos, your policies, your procedures, your best practices, your lessons learned, et cetera, it makes it very difficult for people to efficiently take advantage of the best way to do something today. So an area we've really been focusing on is how do we manage all of this knowledge in the organization? Obviously, you need to have it well documented so you eliminate the consequences of tribal knowledge leaving your organization, but it also needs to be readily retrievable. And the AI evolution that's going on is going to help with that, certainly, but we're really trying to kind of consolidate and make it very clear for a staff member who's entering into a new project or a new activity that I know exactly where I need to go to get the tools and the information that I need to do my job. And with that, we're also better organized when we need to make adjustments to those things. So those have really been some insights that have helped my team stay abreast of what my organization is doing, as well as be able to provide the best service to our internal customer, which is the business.
Great, great insights, Carl, for sure. And speaking from your perspective right now, right, what are some of those big industry trends you think companies should really stay ahead of, especially when it comes to like working with suppliers or working with customers? Are there any tips that you would give to companies out there?
Yeah, I mean, so certainly on the supplier front, I'm seeing more and more, particularly where there are niche activities, things that are very specialized. Companies have a tendency to want to outsource those a lot more than maybe they would have previously. So the idea of maintaining a supplier quality program is expanding a little bit. It's more than just qualifying the right partner to do the work. It includes imparting the knowledge of how our organization operates, because at the end of the day, while you're outsourcing it, you want their output to be consistent with the way you would do the work. So it becomes a little bit more of a collaborative arrangement versus we're just going to come out, we're going to do a supplier audit of your organization. We're spending a lot more time in instructing and informing suppliers as to what we expect and that sort of thing. So certainly in that area, that's something that I'm seeing more and more of, not only from us internally, but also from our customer bases.
Fantastic. Great advice there, Carl. And clearly you've been in this industry for a long time. You definitely have a grasp on this industry, right? The quality world. So what would be your top 3 pieces of advice for the businesses that's trying to navigate the quality challenges today?
Yeah, so I mean, a couple of them we've already touched on, but I think it's worth repeating. So the first one is knowledge management. So I think it's important for organizations to recognize that knowledge should be managed like any other asset in their organization. So with that, what that means, at least from my perspective, is making sure that things are well documented, easily accessed, consistent, and trying to limit that duplication. So particularly in larger organizations where you have a lot of business separation and those types of things, people have a tendency to kind of create what they need for what's directly in front of them. And looking at knowledge management at a high level, trying to pull those best practices out of those businesses and share them across the entire organization is critical. The other thing that I encourage is looking at IT systems consolidation. So I talked to that a little bit from the standpoint of document repositories, but it goes further than that. If you have several different systems to manage your issues or to collect your lessons learned or any of the things that would go into a traditional quality management organization, it makes it that much more difficult to monitor performance. It makes it that much more difficult to assure that you're utilizing whatever the best practices are today. And it just adds a lot of cost in collecting data. And then you're likely missing things because you're not catching all parts of the picture. So anytime we go into a new enterprise implementation of software here at Battelle, we look at what are systems that can be replaced by this new tool? How much more can we bring into it to try to create more of an enterprise view than we're implementing a tool specifically for this business area? So I think that's critically important. And with AI tools, there's a lot of them out there. I know various softwares have some embedded. There are some that can crawl across different systems, but certainly the more consolidated and organized your information is, the better those tools are able to work. And then lastly, and continuing on the AI, learning how to leverage AI. I mean, whether or not everybody buys into it today, it's not going anywhere. And I think it's critically important to recognize the power that AI delivers and be able to utilize it in a way to manage your costs, effectively analyze the data sets that you have in driving the performance of your organization, as well as knowledge discovery. So taking advantage of the opportunity for your users to be able to pull information out of your documents and other resources to be able to do their jobs more quickly and effectively.
What a great advice, Carl. Fantastic. Yes, I totally acknowledge the AI portion of it for sure. I mean, people have to start adopting to the technology, have to pick up how AI works and how it's helping everyone out there in their lives, right? Especially when it, improving the efficiency, building out the transparency, sharing the knowledge across the board. AI is at your fingertips. So great piece of advice, Carl. One last bonus question for you. What are you looking to accomplish for Battelle to help solve some of your pain points?
Yeah, so I've talked a little bit about it throughout our conversation, but really where our focus areas are right now is trying to get as agile as we possibly can. And in doing that, we're focused on the knowledge management topic that I brought up a little bit earlier, trying to get all of the information we have spread across multiple systems across our organization organized in a way that they're easily retrievable. Try to drive out some of the duplication or disparity between two similar processes that are explained differently. And then really starting to learn how to better leverage AI then to be able to get that information quickly and easily to staff. Similarly, as it relates to data analytics, it's a similar story. So we have data spread across a variety of different tools. And today we're able to aggregate that into a single analysis, but that takes time and time is money. So looking at ways that we can consolidate the way our data is collected into this ideally the same system to the greatest extent possible. And then again, learning how to better leverage that AI to reduce the amount of time it takes to go through and manually analyze that data and produce outputs for management review and other activities across our organization. So those are really where I'm focused right now, and they really tie back to all of the things we talked about from economic uncertainties and other things where business strategies are changing and we need to be able to keep up. And in order to do that, we need to get as efficient as possible in driving those things.
Fantastic. Sounds like you're solving those pain points in the industry. So that's great. Thank you for sharing that with us, Carl. And again,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for joining us today here for the webinar.
Yep. Appreciate the time. Take care.